Today is September 26th, 1999, and we are at the open house for the Sharon Historical Society. Are you getting ready to put the open flag outside?
Yes, I'm getting ready to put the open flag outside. I may need some help from somebody that's a little bit taller than me.
This is Bob Schofield. He's putting the open flag up in front of the Historical Society building, officially the building.
Yeah, maybe.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Shirley Schofield, and I'm the chairman of the building committee. It's very nice to have you here. Your name, please?
Betty Farquhar.
Good to have you here with us.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay, and your name?
Hello, Alice Consavage.
Nice
Happy to be here.
Two women who are very well known, longtime residents. Come in and look around.
Thank you.
Okay?
Where are the calendars?
The calendars are down in the back there where Mel and Marilyn Leventhal are.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Why don't we start right with the signing?
With the sign-in book? Hi, nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Are you from Sharon? Canton Historical Society?
Well, no, but we've been there too.
Oh,
Good place to be.
uh-huh,
I'm
okay.
looking forward to seeing
Okay,
you.
all right, well, come in. Look around.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm supposed to be doing something.
Okay, are you supposed to be a hostess somewhere? I guess,
Wherever.
yeah, wherever. Just sort of welcome people, ask them to sign the guest book.
Okay.
That would be nice if you could. I don't know if this is too much.
Well, no, I can stand for a while.
Okay, fine.
Stand here.
Oh, we go right to the guest book.
Hi. Well, how are you, Elaine? Nice to see you here. Elaine is a member, a longtime member, and going to be very active with our working on our archives.
I hope so. She's going to give it to you.
All right.
Expect to get
Okay.
the in order for
All
years.
right. Are you going to be upstairs?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. Hi. Come. Nice to have you here. You're going to be on video. We don't know whether this is going to be on the Sharon Cablevision, but it's going to be for our own private record. Anyway, hey, can I have your name?
Mark,
Do you have a last name?
Cassie.
Okay, nice to have you here, Mark. Is this your sister?
Yep. Lisa Castingay.
Okay. Must be Mom.
Paula Castingay, yes, Mom.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay,
Good to
come
be
in.
here.
Thank you. Come in, look around.
Hi, how are you? Register and smile.
Follow me now, and we'll look to see what we have around here. We're looking at the pictures that our guests will be looking at.
So this is the wall as people...
This is the wall. Actually, this wall is not always going to be here. This is going to be the location of our elevator. But we thought we would decorate it for today for our opening.
Maybe we talk a little bit about some of the pictures. What's in the pictures?
Okay, up here is a photograph of Clapp's shingle mill, which is now out by Cannon Forge. It's near the site of the Stoughtonham furnace, which the Society found after much research and digging many years ago, probably 1982. Next to it are people working in cranberry bogs. Over here is parade And the picture is in front of the old Workman's Building, which stood at the corner of South Main and East Chestnut Streets. This next photograph is a picture of all the Sunday school students from the First Baptist Church of Sharon.
What year is that? About?
I would say it's about the mid-1940s. Down below here is a picture of Sharon Square with its old water fountain. And in the background you see a store of E.F. Bryant's. Presently the Bank Boston is located there. That was at the corner of Billings and Pond Street. This building is Withington and Lowe's. It's same picture or same building as the one above that we showed you with the parade. But this was Withington and Lowe were funeral directors, but they also had kind of like a department store inside there. People could get everything there.
My cousin used to see that was like getting little pieces. My cousin knew his brother George. And then,
These are school students in the early 1900s, and it was at Miss Bates School, which was on Upland Road. This is a Girl Scout troop, and they were known as the Sharon Senior Service Girl Scouts. This photograph was taken in 1945, and it's actually my Girl Scout troop.
As long as I can stand on my feet, I'm grateful.
This building was at the end of Cottage Street, at the intersection of Cottage and Quincy and Ames Street, at the site of the Hammer Shop Pond. It was part of the Lothrop Knife Works. This is Nathaniel Morse House, which was on Moose Hill Street. It was probably demolished or burned many, many years ago. But in the mid-1980s, the Historical Society had an archaeological dig there, trying to find some artifacts. And we did find some pieces of glass and nails and such. This is the Massapog Lake Hotel. Now, the site of Sunset Lodge, then the later Sunset Lodge, and now the site of the community center. It was one of Sharon's most glorious hotels during the era when people would come to Sharon to stay for vacations. Sharon was known as the town with the purest air around. This display cabinet came from Crystalore store here in Sharon that was operated by a very active member of our society, Sidney S. Morgan, now deceased. We have two of these cabinets. In the cabinets, there's an old wool carder item given by Bill Gardner of Sharon, and on the top it has the initials PC, which refers to Philip Curtis, and the date is inscribed in there as 1791. We also have a collection on the shelf next, coming downward, from Bendinelli's store. Photographs, penny candy bags, etc. Then down below we have a milk bottle collection of Rick Schofield and his sister Robin Goodban. The first shelf over in the left hand, we have a large green bottle, which came from Clark's Bitters Company, which was located on Clark Court here in Sharon many, many, many years ago. There's also a large photograph showing the two-door inn, which was overlooking Wallamallapog Pond on South Main Street, and a few other little items from Bill Gardner. Over here at the right of the cabinet are two utensils used for retrieving items from high shelves at Bendinelli's store. And over here to the left is the cash register used at Bendinelli's. We're very grateful to Italo Bendinelli and his family for donating the cash register, the scale, and the Pepsi sign. Now over here we have some display cabinets that were given to us by the Sharon Public Library. In there are several artifacts that had belonged to the original Historical Society, which disbanded in 1923. We are grateful to the library trustees for giving us the many artifacts that you can see in the cabinets and up above. Hi, Ruth. Here you can see many commemorative dishes showing scenes of Sharon. Many of them were made in Germany for Miss Elliott's gift shop or E.F. Bryant's store. Things down below came from the library collection. We have some things here from the Sharon Police Department. We have a pair of puttees and a belt and a hat that was the property of Milton Otis Parker, member of the police department many years ago. The second shelf, there's a photograph of Guido T. Lavezzo, who was police chief in Sharon from 1929 to 1959. In the same cabinet, there are photos of the police cruiser used in the late 30s, early 40s, when Sharon had only the one cruiser and only 3 policemen, 1 policeman for each shift. We also have nightsticks here, loaned to us by Lieutenant J.J. McGrath of the Sharon Police Department. We have patches that were worn on uniforms and a badge loaned to us by Bob Schofield. Down below we have some memorabilia from Petty's store, which was the focal point in Sharon's Post Office Square for generations and generations. Unfortunately, the store burned in December 1966. Sharon Square, or Post Office Square, has not been the same since. Fitzpatrick, who came from Tucson, Arizona. It's his family who have given us the school bell, and Frank doesn't know it, but he's going to be ringing that school bell in a few minutes. Okay, really
it's
great.
So nice to see you.
Oh, good to see you
Yeah.
too.
You guys have done such a tremendous job about organizing this whole society
yeah.
that I just couldn't believe it had happened in Sharon, you know? And it took a few people like you
And Mel.
Herb Post, and a few of the others, you know, it's just marvelous.
Frank and his family lived here in Sharon for many, many years, and they moved to Tucson in about 1945, 1946.
Good for you.
Graduated from Sharon High. He was president of the class of 1942.
No, the only president of our class every year. We never had another president.
Never had another president?
No, I was the president every year.
Every year. Oh my goodness. Well, that was quite an honor.
And Herb Post was the one that ran against me as a senior. And unfortunately, he didn't make it.
Uh-huh.
I felt sort of greedy about it, but I was really proud.
Yeah. Oh, that's just wonderful. Anybody else from your family coming?
Yeah, Pat's out here. And my cousin Dottie Allen, who used to live in Tucson next to us for a couple of years.
Uh-huh.
So the three of us.
Oh, great, great. Oh, well, this is just wonderful. Really.
Well, I'm really impressed, the work you've done.
Well,
I have to get out of the limelight, though.
Oh.
You need to move on.
Well, I want to go see Pat. Eugene Callahan. Gene is a member of the building committee and our clerk of the works. He has been here faithfully, probably almost every day for the past 2 years. Maybe not all day, but at least for a little bit anyway. And so it's really, we'll get the committee together. Right, doesn't it look nice? Oh.
Get Alice.
I've already got her. And over here we have Marie Cuneo. Marie is our president, and she's helped today tremendously in preparing this beautiful spread of food that we have out here. Okay, and over here we have Ed Schnur.
He's a real townie. How are you?
Ed is a real townie.
I've been here
Old
forever.
timer,
Yeah.
right.
I brought my car out front and sitting right there, so go take a picture of it.
We'll have,
Did that for you, see?
I know I asked you quite a while ago. I'm glad you remembered that.
Yeah.
And here we have Mary Marked, who is helped preparing the refreshments and serving them. And Mary is the wife of George Marked, who's gone to the, who is a classmate of mine. Okay. Hi, here we have Priscilla Levinson. Nice to have you here, Priscilla.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
And we thank you for all you've done and made this possible.
Well, thank you. Wait just a minute. Turn it off.
We all get the same way.
Does your wife beat you I will too. Exhibit You just hang on, I'll do the pulling.
2 hands for beginners.
Oh, there it is.
When did I turn off my hearing aid?
Oh, that sounds good.
Here? Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy brought that from Florida.
Too bad he wasn't here.
That sounds wonderful.
That's enough?
Is that enough?
That's
I'd rather be fishing.
Good, Shirley.
Yeah, these are 2 members of the Fitzpatrick family who donated our bell. We are very, very pleased and grateful for this bell.
We're the Thomas S. Fitzpatrick family from 180 South Main Street.
That's right.
That makes it.
They used to live on South Main Street at the corner of Gertrude Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Bendinelli, Mr. Idolo Bendinelli here with us today. When did you first come to Sharon?
I think it was 1928.
28. And your father opened up the store in the
Right.
Sharon Square then? Uh-huh. And sold fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, mostly fruit and vegetables.
S.S. Pierce.
SSPs.
Right? Monic, all good products.
Old tonic of the old Simpson Spring for years and years. It's almost hard to remember some of the old places, but I just thank the Lord we're got this far and enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, we're very, very thankful to Elo and his family for donating the old cash register from Bendinelli's store, along with a scale and the Pepsi sign. I think that was probably one of the earliest Pepsi-Cola signs. And then over here in the cabinet, there's more memorabilia. And this is his daughter, Mary Jean.
Oh, hi.
Hi. They also donated some photographs, some old certificates.
Point at them so I can...
Would you point on?
Oh, yeah. What would you like me to say, Sharon?
Point at the pictures.
Oh, the pictures.
Okay.
This is my father behind the counter here with a couple of kids. And this is him behind the counter. And there's a picture in back of my grandfather. Let's see, there's a couple of registrations.
I think one of them was probably a permit to sell oleomargarine.
Yes, it was. That first one here. Let's see.
Looks like there's a tray there in which some...
Oh, double bubble gum. And there's a Coke glass. And there's some Pepsi. Is that ours? Yeah, no.
It is.
The Pepsi. Let's see what old train schedule down here. And some old cigarette papers, wrapping papers.
And there's an advertisement over on the other side for non-Perels.
7 for a penny.
7 for a penny, imagine that. And I think somewhere up there hidden are some little paper bags in which the penny candies went.
Yes, right top there. Very small little paper bags.
Well, we're very, very grateful. Those of us that have grown up in Sharon have many, many happy memories of going to Bendinelli's.
Tell them to go away. My girlfriend gave me one.
They're on the other side.
Just one of those naps, you know, goes around and bugs very good. Ginny Ernie, yeah, Ginny's here.
So, Mel, how are we doing?
We're doing all right. We're making a few bucks.
What is it that you have here that's is the calendar?
We have our 2YK calendar. We have 1890 maps. We have sale for the house tour. And in the cabinet we have our books.
and little magnets and little items of interest.
I've been avoiding them all day. How'd you end up in Sharon? I don't
For the grand opening of our new building. She said it wasn't going to work.
Sure it does.
Oh, okay. Okay. We certainly got a wonderful day for it after Hurricane Floyd and other storms that we had along the way. We hope you enjoyed the building, and we hope to see you more often, not just at the grand opening. In a couple of weeks, we'll be announcing the hours that will be open to the public, probably one day during the week and one of the weekend days. Maybe we'll alternate it or whatever. So it's wonderful to see you all. Again, we hope to see you more often. And Chandler Jones is going to give us some of the background of the Historic Society and what they've accomplished over the years. Chandler?
Well, years ago when my Falmouth was my hometown, and my grandfather's house that I did own later on was the birthplace of Catherine Lee Bates, who wrote America the Beautiful. And just 100 years ago, at this time, they had a big celebration. And that was 40 years ago when I was down there. So I had to open the house up and show all the things that had come to me because of Catherine Lee Bates. So that was the sort of the beginning of opening up my house for people to look inside. When I was in outside of Providence, Rhode Island, my wife liked old houses too, and so I was moving around a lot because I was a executive of the electric utility company at that time, and we had a nice place, old farm out in the country in the town of Harmony, which was a good name for it, and my wife just loved it. When she took it over, it had nothing been done to it. The old lady that lived there had just left. There was no heating system, no bathroom, anything like that. So my wife fixed it up just the way she wanted it. And she was very happy right there. Then, of course, the boss says, come back to Boston to work. So I had to tell my wife that we were going to have to move again. Well, she says, you find something as good as this up around Boston, I'll come up and see you. My boy was going to school in Boston University, and so we bought a little house out in Weston, somewhere around Boston. I forget the name of it for the moment. And we took a little furniture we had and we fixed it up, and we spent the week up there, and of course we came down to the farm weekends. And that arrangement worked all right, but then we had to find a place around Boston because that's where I was going to have to move back to. And we had an agent, and we told her what we wanted, and she looked around, and she finally found a place in Canton. It used to be an old tavern. This was a cold winter night now, and it was after dark. It gets dark early, and my wife came up to see it, and of course it wasn't any good because it was too small. There's no outbuildings. We had cars and tractors and stuff like that. She says, I have another place in Sharon that the people they're going to get divorced, and they're going to sell, of course, and they had made all the arrangements. It hadn't been on the market yet, but they had to come to a price. So that she said, let me call those people up and see if they can, if you want to let them see it. So we came down to Cobb's Tavern this cold winter night, dark, you know, and everything. I didn't know where it was. I knew where Sharon was because my aunt had gone to the sanatorium there when she was at one time. So we got into the Cobb's Tavern, the nice fireplace fire going in the kitchen, and of course it was very comfortable, and like most of you folks I hope have been there. And my wife didn't say. And finally we get outside, and the agent says, well, how do you like it? She says, I'll take it. So that was all there was to that. So we had to sell the place in the farm. That's 40 years ago now that happened. And of course what happened after that was, after we had settled in more or less and so forth and so on, began to wonder more about the history of Cobb's Tavern. And so I went down to the library of the Historical Society, I thought, to get more information, and they told me there isn't any. Well, I thought that was kind of queer because we'd always had one in Falmouth, and there was always, any place we've been, there'd been a Historical Society. So I began to think about that, and finally I asked a lot of questions, and I found out a lot of things about Sharon from different sources and so forth and so on. So it wasn't too long before I thought we ought to start one. So Cal Gilp and Sid Morgan got to be friends of mine, and I had talked a lot to them about this thing. I'd been to a couple of meetings at different places and asked a lot of questions about the Historical Society. And it got to the point where, well, yes, we thought if we could get Dr. Griffin, who was a well-known person in Sharon, to be a secretary, a vice president, that might be a little influence on getting one going. So we got to that point, and I don't know just what the next exact step was, but finally we talked at different places. I'd talked about the Historical Society to a lot of people, in small groups of people, but finally I thought we better get going and get something done. So I got hold of Karen Guba and says, Karen, would you be president of a Historical Society if we could get one going? And she said, well, yes, I would, but why don't you have a meeting at your house and invite all the people in that you might think may be interested, and see if we can get a vice president and a treasurer, and then we could go to work. And she did that, and we finally, she finally got all that she needed. I had all the papers ready for it, and her husband's a lawyer, so this was an ideal setup. So she took the thing in hand and went ahead and did it. And that was how Sharon's Historical Society began. And that was about, I forgot the number of years ago now, but hold that for a minute. I might oh,
1981. 1981.
Oh yeah, well I got it right. Yeah. Well, this is what finally appeared in the paper at that time. The Sharon Historical Society organizing a meeting. In order to reactivate the Sharon Historical Society, an organizational meeting will be held on March the 4th, 1981 at 8 p.m. in the community meeting room, in the community meeting at the library. The agenda for the evening includes the acceptance bylaws and discussion of the officers and so forth and so on. All interested people are urged to attend the meeting and bring ideas and become involved on whatever level that they are interested in. That meeting was held. I went to it, as a matter of fact, because I started it. And finally, the meeting in the paper was the Sharon Historical Society will hold an organizational meeting on the March the 4th, 1981 at 8 p.m. in the community meeting room of the library at the Sharon Public Library. All are invited to attend, and further information can be contact Karen Gruber. And that was the beginning of the Historical Society.
I'm going to sit over here, or would you like to see it? Thank you, Chandler. That was very interesting and very informative. Next, I would like to introduce the building committee. I think they're all here. Jean Callahan. Oh, Jean Callahan, David Nelson, Lucille Stubbs. Here's Lucille. And the chair is Shirley Schofield. And without these people, without these folks, and they never run out of energy and ideas, and they're always here, this building would not be here today. And Shirley has a few comments she would like to make.
Thank you, Marie. I'd like you three to come up front here so everybody can see you. Jean, come over here. David? And Lou? I think it was probably at least 10 years ago when we formed the committee, and we have been working very, very hard ever since. At one time, we had looked at a couple of houses to move to this site, but it didn't work out. One was Dr. Griffin's house, right? And plans just didn't work out right. So we decided to go ahead and construct a building. We had a designer draw up the plans, and it was just 2 years that we were standing outside here on a very brisk September afternoon, and we had our groundbreaking ceremony. We had refreshments out here in the middle of the parking lot, and that was a memorable occasion. But today is even much, much better. I'm sure that you all agree. I also want to introduce my husband. Bob, where are you? Jean, come over here. Right, as David said, he's an ex officio member. Jean Callahan was our clerk of the works, and Bob is his able-bodied assistant. Both of them were up here just about every day the past 2 years, checking up on contractors, making sure everything was going very well. Now we're to this point. We do want you to know that we are not quite finished. We are going to be installing an elevator soon, and the elevator shaft is in, and it's going to be over in this wall here where these pictures are. The elevator is on order, but it will take 2 to 3 months before it is in and functioning. Without the support of all you people, I'm sure that we could not have had this building constructed this way. We are really indebted to all of you, to your help and everything. I particularly want to say thank you to the Fitzpatrick family. They are very, very precious to me. having known them since I was a little girl. Agnes over here, Agnes lives in Plymouth. Agnes used to take care of me, and I'm sure we can share some stories. And Frank is around here somewhere. Right. Frank came from Tucson, Arizona. They're both graduates of Sharon High. There were 9 children in the Fitzpatrick family, well known to many, many Sharon people. The family did move to Tucson about 1945 or 46. It was their younger brother, Jimmy, who brought us the bell from another brother's home in Haines City, Florida. And this is the bell that's up on the roof. We did ring it a little while ago. Frank and Agnes pulled the rope, and we're very, very honored and very, very pleased. We'd also like to thank all people who have donated artifacts. We will welcome more, and we hope to be changing our displays from time to time. Just this past week on Friday, we received the cash register from Idolo Bendinelli's family, and and that's over against that wall, and there's also memorabilia here in this cabinet. So I just want to say thank you, and we hope that you'll come back soon. We do want to let you know that on October 23rd, we're having a tour of 5 Sharon homes, and then people will be invited back here for refreshments and a chance to buy beautiful items at the boutique that's going to be here. Do you want to say anything?
Oh, just that I'm so happy to see so many people here, and it's really exciting to finally see it operating. It's for all of us.
Jean?
I'm glad it's done.
I'm sure Becky is too. David?
Without these 2 guys here and Shirley making the commands, it wouldn't have happened, and they deserve all the credit.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Marie.
Thank you, Shirley. Next, we'd like to introduce the Ways and Means Committee. And no matter what else, without the Ways and Means Committee, we probably wouldn't be here today. Jerry Albert, David Nelson, Irving Post, Jean Santos, Shirley Schofield, Lucille Stubbs, and Mel Leventhal. And believe me, they know how to ferret out with deep pockets. And Mel would like to talk about their efforts.
Just a few words. Any of you know a guy by the name of Cuba Gooding Jr.? Show me the money. That's what he said. And the town has really shown us the money. And particular thanks to our friends at the banks, the Sharon Cooperative, Sharon Credit Union. And there's really not enough to say about the guy who gave us the money for the elevator, Dickie Goodyear. He's not here today, but we are really indebted to him, because without that elevator, we would be months and months from now on waiting to open this building and put it into its proper use and enjoy it in time to come. And everyone here and everyone in the community has really lent their support to show what a community this is when they put their nose to the grindstone and want to get something done. And it is done, and it's done beautifully, thanks to the building committee, and thanks to everybody in the moral support, money support, or whatever support they gave you. I just want to say one more word. That Shirley introduced Agnes Fitzpatrick. I want to let you know that Agnes and I led the senior prom in 1941.
Yes. They can just look around, enjoy themselves.
That concludes our welcoming program, and would like you to stay and continue to look around at the various items that we have on display. And again, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Join the group. Postcard that was sent to someone in 1929. And I'm dying to find out when it is. I can't relate to
collections, things that they've taken.
I guess these are going to be exhibited when they have time to hang them.
And sort through them.
Jerry's there. Jerry Hollister, he's the treasurer.
What are you doing here? 17, 18, 19.
25.
That's got to be pretty old. I mean, I'm assuming that's pretty.
I only use it on my checks and
So Rebecca must have been in our tour group last year and been with me. A third grade is usually where they do it.
You found good stuff in there?
Yeah, actually there is good stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff in here, and in fact, some of the people that lived in our house are mentioned in here, which is good.
Who were they?
Noah Johnson isn't in here, but there are a few other people. I can't remember their names now.
What's your name?
I'm Jill Baxter, and I live in Noah Johnson's house.
And where's that?
On North Main Street.
Uh-huh.
For the tour, for Bronson, I didn't get mine. And I sent my money a long time ago.
Ladies out there, stop doors and say
I'm going to send the book.
Right down here.
Is that you? show me who you are.
You go like this.
Hey, you had hair right in the a curl right in the front. That's a cowlick. Yeah. You had hair anyway, but
You're not a local boy?
No, I am not.
He's
from New York.
From New York? Nobody's from New York.
So Jeannie, you know Jeannie?
Yes.
Hey, Jeannie.
Get her. Yes.
She's the main one.
Barbara Derry, Barbara Quarry.
She's the main attraction. If I get all those women there, they're all the main attraction.
Yeah.
No, she's...
Those are numbered tickets. Those are all numbered.
Oh, you can't take it to remember? Okay, you know you can get it now then, Bill. Okay, get it now, sure. You know, we've been
It's January 24th at about 3 o'clock, and we're in the basement of the Sharon Historical Society, and what we're going to do now is look at the elevator shaft, or the shaft where the elevator is going to go. And just to place it in a little context here, we're down in this little hallway, and I'm going to go into pause now. Looking down from the basement into the well where the elevator is going to go. This is a cement pit here, and now we're up to the structural level, and I'm going to look up so that we can see up to the 3rd floor. Now there are no openings from this shaft, and the next time we come in here we'll watch the people actually putting in the structure and the cement blocks and steel things that are needed to support the elevator. In here?
They're going to be putting in closets right away, this area.
And in this area?
This will be the elevator shaft in here. And over here will be a walk-in closet.
Just speak a little louder. Sure.
Over
Sure.
here, there will be a walk-in closet,
Right.
be used for storage space.
So how much of this is actually going to be for the elevator itself?
About 56 inches from that corner over to here.
Okay.
The mechanical room for the elevator would be around the corner.
Okay. Beneath the staircase, and this is where the mechanical room that will run the elevator will be
Situated.
okay. Now,
The pit is